It's Kevin Keatsman Uncanceled on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. I'm Kevin Keatsman, and I got a bounce in my step today. I don't know why. It was probably the Trump meme that I saw last night that he reposted. Pete played that earlier. We'll talk about that on the show today. He's just making fun of Democrats, which means you have won the race. And now it's time to taunt your foe. It is so delicious and wonderful, and it's working. And they can say whatever they want, but this is how you reach young voters. This is how you convince. This is how a nearly 80-year-old man will convince an entire generation of young people that today don't even know it. They're seeing this stuff at age 10 or 11 or 12 on their phones. But it is influencing the way they will vote forever. Because when you are raised to make fun of Democrats and laugh at them for being seriously weird, then there is no better political policy than that. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. Also, oh boy, we got another teacher. Well, we have a principal that should be in trouble in the Olathe School District. Uh-oh. This one's a little weird. It has to do with Charlie Kirk Freedom T-shirts being banned from the school. Oh, that one's coming up. And we'll have some fun at the end of the broadcast as well. We have a member of the sports media that's probably going to run for the Senate. Not here. I'll tell you where and who that is. And we'll get into whether or not, with Mark Van Sickle, did Lamar Jackson quit on Sunday? It's become a very big topic because I felt like watching that game. I thought he quit against the Chiefs. And then I thought that's not fair to say because I don't know and I wasn't there and I didn't cover the game and I couldn't see if he was limping and all that. So I didn't say it on my podcast and I didn't say it here. I was inundated with emails from my podcast listeners saying, Kevin, we are so disappointed you didn't say Lamar Jackson's a quitter. I said, well, I don't know that. We'll have to wait until Sunday and see how he plays and everything else. But I have a quote out of Baltimore that suggests to me that he may have done that. So, Mark, you've got a few minutes to stew that one over. We'll see what you think. A stem winder of a speech earlier today by Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War. It is impossible to do, but he upstaged the President of the United States. Hegseth, perfectly dressed, perfectly fit, looking dapper, intelligent, walked the stage, did not stand behind the podium in front of all the important people in the Department of War. All the secretaries, all the big generals, it was at Quantico, and it was a stem winder. There's no other way to describe it. It was written. It looked like he was ad-libbing. It was on a teleprompter, but not a teleprompter at a podium where you just stand there and you move your head right to left and the screen's right there and right in front of you and you're doing that. These prompters were somewhere in the back of the room. So he was out in front of the podium, walking the stage in front of everyone, clearly reading many of the lines, but it was unbelievable. He talked about physical training every day for everyone in the military, period, every single person. He said, I don't care what kind of fat cat general you may be at the highest level, you're doing something physical every day because your troops are watching. We're going to have height and weight requirements for all of you. We will expect you to be in shape if you're in the military. And obviously the rules are different for positions that require something physical, combat, things of that nature. But I don't think it's just exclusive to that. If you're an airplane mechanic, you probably don't want to tip the scales at 320. Be that guy. I don't think you want to be that. And it's going to be for men and women. It's going to be the same. The height and weight requirements are the same. Now, that's going to eliminate a lot of men, too. People will say this is sexist. It is not. But I'm the guy who argued, I got in so much trouble many years ago when I said Title IX has nothing to do with college football. And people were like, well, what are you talking about? That's a men's sport. We have to create women's sports with an equal number of scholarships. I said, no, we don't. There have been many young women that have had scholarships in college football. It is not a gender-specific sport. It is completely and totally merit-based. There is no women's football. There's no equivalent. So we developed rowing teams and equestrian teams and all these things to give scholarships to girls, which is inherently unfair to men. Totally unfair to men. The sport itself is a merit-based sport, football. You can play if you're a woman. Nobody's keeping you out. And there have been many that have earned scholarships. Kickers. I think there was a running back at one point at a smaller school There have been plenty of women have college scholarships to play football. It is not gender specific. It should not apply. This is what Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump are doing with our military. We don't see you as a man or a woman. We see you as a physical machine. If combat is your thing, you got to be this tall. You got to weigh this much. You got to bench press this. You got to be able to run this fast. Just the way it is. Otherwise, the person next to you is in danger. I believe that. He unloaded today that we are a war-fighting department. We are not a political department. We will not see people by their identity. We will put the best people in the best positions that want to be here. And he has something called a rule of 1990, which was really impressive to me. Because a lot of people, especially of a certain age, like me and John Anthony, would look back to 1990 and go, you know what? Coming out of the Reagan years, we did a lot of things in the United States better then than we do now. Not everything. Not everything. The problem we have and the chaos that Democrats cause in this country is they want to change everything about America. There are so many things from the very foundation 250 years ago, or nearly 250 years ago, of our country. There are so many things that do not need changing. We've got to honor, protect, and respect those things. And the rule of 1990 is basically that. Pete Hegseth said, we're going to go back and look at the charter, everything that was the United States Department of Defense in 1990, every single thing that there was. And if we're not doing that today like we did in 1990, we are asking why. And he said there better be a really good reason. At times, he used a little foul language on the stage. This was a tough speech. It almost feels like he and J.D. Vance and some of these other people are out there running for president already. But this one was a beauty. He said, we're taking everything from 1990, and if we're not doing it and we don't have a reason why, we're going back to that. Because we're a war-fighting machine, and the other countries don't have these silly little woke policies and quotas. He said, we're cutting our hair. We're going to shave. We're not going to have beards. We're not going to be out of shape. We're not going to be overweight. And then he said, this was the most important part, because he's in front of the leaders in the military. Hundreds of them in this giant room. He's in front of all of them. And he said, if this does not sound like it's for you, you might want to consider another line of work. You're welcome to quit. It was powerful. We're changing. If you were put in place because of DEI, and this is the hill you want to die on, and you're where you are because you think the policies of the past administration and the Obamas and people like that are why you're here, it's time for you to go. Just walk away. Don't fight us, because it is not going to work. We're zero tolerance on all of this in the Department of War. It was a blessing for our great country, a wonderful thing, and I think it will lead over the next 3 years to many people in our military walking away saying, I'm taking retirement. Maybe it's older guard, but then maybe, which is what they want, is people that are apolitical. He said, we prefer not to know who you vote for or the candidate that you like. We just want the Department of War to be blind to all the nonsense. We need to build the best fighting machine we can. And there's a very simple, rooted in real principles and rules that have existed for 250 years way of doing this. And that's what we're going back to. Again, if it's not for you, you might want to consider another line of work. Leave on your own before we catch you trying to do weird things. No more dudes in skirts. Like he literally said it, dudes in dresses. No more dudes in dresses in this military. That's the term he used. Pete Hegseth, with his finest moment, as far as I'm concerned, as Secretary of War, an amazing speech that he gave today. Just terrific. It comes on a day where we may be shutting down the government at midnight. Yes, please. Midnight sounds great. I go to bed earlier now, pretty early. I may set my alarm for midnight just to find out. Yes, please. If it ends at midnight and they don't have this figured out, non-essential federal government employees, agencies, offices, and departments will be inactive and not funded. Let me repeat that again. Non-essential. Hello, I'm a conservative. Let's get rid of all the non-essential in everything in our government, please. If you are described as non-essential at midnight tonight, Trump should be firing people right and left. He's threatening to do that. He will have the authority as the commander-in-chief because Congress relinquishes authority when they're not funding anything. There's no money to fund this, but guess what happens? Our military's fine. Your Social Security check's okay. Your health care through the government's just fine. Everything that people are addicted to and care about in the government, you're going to have. Even the post office is safe at midnight tonight. I mean, what would we do if we had to go a few days without mail? I'm sorry. What would we do if we had to go a few more days without mail? I couldn't resist. So, yes, let's do this. There have actually been 3 of these shutdowns since 2000. I guess I don't remember them very well. There were a couple under Trump. Did they just last a few hours or whatever? They last a long time. I don't remember. This one needs to be different. Whatever they were not consequential enough that we even remember them. Let's give Chuck Schumer something to remember. Can we do that, please? Because he wants like $1 trillion for more COVID money extensions, more Obamacare provisions, health care for illegal aliens. They want to shut the government down over that? Perfect. Absolutely. Let's shut the government down over that. And Trump will start letting people go. And he'll know, even without looking, 80% of the people he's getting rid of are Democrats. Because that's what your federal government is. And I would venture to say it's a higher number at non-essential work. That's just career office dwellers that have a spot in D.C. for 42 years and take their pension. And they sit there every day and never really think about much. And I assume they have something they do during the day. But I'm going to guess there's a lot of people that don't do anything during the day. Remember the big crap storm it was last winter when Trump took over and they made these people come back to work and said, you can't stay home anymore. We have all these big, beautiful office buildings. You got to get your ass in here. Come on, let's go. If that got them upset, actually going to work, how mad are they going to be if they lose their work? This is what I voted for. It's what I signed up for. If it says non-essential, shut it down tonight. Who cares? Let's just go a couple weeks. Saving this money, I saw a guy, did an interview, said if they do this, if they only do the essential pieces and they cut everything else, he believes that we will be immediately at a balanced budget. With the new tariff money coming in and everything that we have going on, he thinks it'll all be level for the first time since anybody can remember. We'll be level. If that levels us off and we're not losing money, let's just leave it that way. If we got to hire a few people back in a few areas and redevelop departments and do some things, we can maybe do that. I love it, man. That's why I'm in a good mood today. 913-408-7957. Ladies and gentlemen, your military is going back to 1990, and your federal government's dumping non-essential at midnight. Come on. Shut it down. Next on Uncanceled. Hey, thanks for joining the show today. Appreciate you listening every single day. It's been brought to my attention that more and more people are listening to KCMO Talk Radio. That's exciting. Pete's show is just unbelievable. They just do such a great job. And I am so happy to be part of this thing. And I thank you for being part of it as well. Tell your friends to listen to KCMO Talk Radio. We might make them a little bit smarter. It's possible. We could help people be not quite as dumb. There's a chance of that. Let's start today with, I goofed that up. Hang on. Why do I do things like that? Let's start right here with Bob in Olathe. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine, sir.
So I was calling in. You're talking about the government shutdown, and I was going to tell you about one of the implications that kind of gets unmentioned. Is there's the FAA still requires all of the air traffic controllers to show up for work because they are considered essential. And the last government shutdown, when there was a 35-day shutdown, those controllers were all there, still day in and day out, and not getting paid to be there, which is pretty frustrating if you think about it. People work in pretty high-stress situations, and they're forced to be there and they're not even promised a paycheck. They say we're supposed to get it back, but it doesn't always, and at the end of the day, when they did pay us back, it was one lump sum, so we were taxed significantly higher. And now you want all these people, air traffic control is already, the ranks have dwindled in the last few years. they say that they'll keep the academy open, but that doesn't solve the issue. And there's going to be
there shouldn't have been a
nationwide delays.
There should not have been a taxation issue. I'm not an accountant, but if you had one, there should not be any issue with that. If it was the actual money that you were owed, it's been my understanding that all essential employees that have their pay held back when this happens have always been paid back. In fact, Trump paid back a bunch of military personnel that didn't take the COVID shot and were fired. He's back paid them and offered them their jobs back. And I'll say this, if Cumulus Radio came to me and said, hey, listen, we got a real problem here. Can you work for a month? We want to keep paying you, but it's going to be a while. I'd probably say, sure, no problem. Now, this is a really big company. I don't know them all that well, but I think most people would do that to keep their job. And all due respect, this was a condition of employment that you knew, correct?
That is correct. I'm
right.
just letting you know that there's probably going to be massive delays throughout the national airspace system. I'm not doing this to say, oh, poor me, but I'm just saying that there's the stress of that for the air traffic controllers and the people. We still have to pay bills.
Absolutely.
Everybody else.
I totally understand. And you know what? I will say this about air traffic controllers.
Nationwide delays that people are gonna see that, and the airlines have already voiced concerns for that. So that's one thing I just want to bring attention to. I appreciate it, and let me also say this. I could never be an air traffic controller. I'd be terrible at it. I'd get distracted. My mind runs all over the place. I'd be a mess. So we greatly appreciate what you do, and I think there's been some pretty good raises. I think you all make a pretty good living now. I could be wrong, but I'm hoping so because it's an incredibly important and valuable position, and you need to be taken care of. Well, the pay is pretty decent, and I just wish it would keep up a little more with inflation, but yeah. I guess that's for another day. All right. Thank you for the call. I appreciate that. Well, I was in a good mood today. Let's go to Derek in DeSoto. Good morning, Derek. How are you?
Hey, Kevin, I got two comments for you. First, if the shutdown's so good, and I agree with you, let's shut it down. Government shouldn't be doing so-called non-essential services. So let's shut it down. The question is, why are the Republicans working furiously to avoid it? I mean, let's shut it down.
I'm hoping that's a great question. I've asked myself that. I'm hoping they're doing that for show to make it look like they're really trying. But this is the time where this is where you just draw the line in the sand. If you're the Republican, you say, no, this is how it's going to be. You either accept it or we're shutting it down. Just own it.
Well, I hope they shut it down. I hope they outdo themselves on this one. The second comment I had was we've already got women playing professional football. In fact, there's going to be a bunny playing at the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, indeed. Bad Bunny. Thank you, sir. No rim shot for that one. Wasn't quite funny enough. Here is Stephen in KCK. Good morning, Stephen.
Well, keep up being in a good mood. I'll argue devil's advocate here. I think I'll argue the rhino point of view, and I'll try and give you an explanation of why the Senate is voting to continue the funding today. Is I think we're going to get demagogued on these Obamacare tax credits. They're starting to send out notices to 22 million people that their premiums are going to go through the roof next year. And I think the Republicans in the Senate are very nervous about that, and the Democrats are using it, every last thing they could have to put us in we're way ahead. We're winning the New Jersey governor's race. We're tied there, so they're going to use everything they got, and all they got left is the Obamacare subsidies. Yeah.
I hear you. We're too far. This is only where Stephen's a great call and an excellent point. Thank you. You always bring up really cogent points. I appreciate that. We are too far from an election for any of this to matter. We're past that. We live in a 24-hour news cycle that isn't even 24 hours anymore. That election is 14 months away. Do the right thing. It's what you were elected to do. Stand firm. Get it right. This is Uncanceled. Now, see, that's a pretty good song. That guy did the Super Bowl, too, didn't he? What is that, The Weeknd?
Yeah, he did the Super Bowl, the first Chiefs Super Bowl.
Is he the one that got lost?
Yes.
Just disappeared. Yeah. Didn't know how to get back out.
I think that was actually the Bucs Super Bowl where the Chiefs got smashed.
And so we didn't like that one at the time either. But that's, that's got to be better than Bad Bunny.
Yeah. If you can actually understand some of the lyrics, it's going to be good.
We'll take it every time.
At least okay.
Every single time we will take that. All right, so the clip that I had me in such a good mood that I saw last night. I know Pete played this earlier, but it is well worth playing it again. I know many of you are not on social media and don't see things like this, but Trump posted this to 120 million followers. And goodness knows how many more millions have now seen it now that it's been reposted. And the liberal media and the politicians, especially Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, have just lost their minds. There was a little news coverage yesterday with Schumer standing outside and Hakeem Jeffries to his right. And this is all AI. Trump, I don't think Trump made this, but he could have.
Maybe
right?
one of his people.
Yeah, one of his people. They can make whatever they want. I'll give you the larger point after you hear it because it's hilarious. But understand it looks like Schumer talking, and standing him next to him is Jeffries, and they've put on like an animated sombrero on his hat and like the big curly mustache thing like you'd see like Yosemite Sam has.
Yeah.
Best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how
and
that
it
works.
is AI.
Yeah, it's totally AI, and Trump reposted it, just put this up for everyone to see.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Oh, it's just too good. It's just too good. And I sent that to my friends last night. I said, this is literally posted by the president of the United States. And there was a time where, it's beneath the office. There's all this. That's gone. The Democrats did that. We didn't do that. Again, this is counterpunching. We didn't reset the rules. We didn't remake the rules. It's all the impeachments, all the attacks. Every time you called every one of us a racist, we're sick of it. We think it's funny. We think your sexual deviants in your party are funky and weird and strange, and we will mock it and we will make fun of it. Because for most Americans, it's funny as heck. And Trump putting that on there is not racist in any comedy at its core. Parody and comedy cannot be racist. We've defined that. Dave Chappelle did that for everybody. He redefined everything. All these people that got canceled, whatever, they're all back. Shane Gillis is back. Everybody's back. They say whatever they want. The hottest trend in comedy, stand-up comedy today, is making fun of transgenders. So don't tell me that Trump can't post this with Chuck Schumer making light of a situation where the Democrats are hemorrhaging votes from black people and Latinos. Listen, this was about politics. Everybody's arguing, he's a bigot. Why doesn't he just make the case that his... He doesn't need to make the case. He's making the case that the other side are idiots. And we will laugh at you. For worrying about illegal aliens instead of American citizens, we will mock that. That's where we are. In one decade, we've gone from, I can't even tell anybody I'm a Republican. Oh, who'd you vote for? I don't know. I'm an independent. You know, I waffle back and forth every year. We're all saying this 10 years ago. Well, you know, I'm an independent. No, we weren't independents. We were just afraid to say we were Republicans or conservatives or libertarians or whatever. Not now. Making fun of it and getting people to laugh, especially young people that can't vote, are watching this just laughing. The president posted this? That's funny. That looks like the television channel I watch, the shows that I like, the things in our culture that are popular, like South Park and Family Guy and Simpsons and whatever, where they say whatever they want. You can't mock or make fun of. Everybody is fair game. Trump lives in an entertainment world. It's been the key to his success to getting elected. It is changing the minds of young people. Winning the debate or arguing with Democrats is a futile waste of time. Mocking them and reducing it to comedy to where their positions, you look at them and you start laughing at their positions, that's a 100% winner for everyone. If you think a political party's positions are comical, they're done. He can't do enough of this for 3.5 years. It needs to be rooted in our society all the way throughout. It needs to permeate from sea to shining sea that we will mock you. We will laugh at how silly you are. Oh, man, that was so good. It's the best you can do. Now, think of it like this. On their side, they get crazy mad at Trump or conservatives or policy. They just get out of their minds crazy mad. And what do? We laugh at them. I do. I think many of you do. I can't be the only one. I know the dudes around here do. We all laugh at them. We think it's funny. We think they're funny. We don't take them that seriously. You can't take men and women's sports seriously. You can't take some of this stuff seriously. You just can't. You cannot take open borders seriously. It's comical. It's an absurd position by any politician in any serious country. That can't work for them. Paying health care for illegal aliens can't work. Springing them from jail and allowing them to run among us cannot work. These things are comical. They're deadly and serious, but it's gotten to the point where it's just a comedy of one issue after another that they're on the wrong side of. Make fun of them. That little bit's hilarious. If you haven't seen it, get on your computer and search it. It is so funny to look at. It's even better than what you heard on radio. Hakeem Jeffries came out and said, this is bigotry at its worst. No, it's pretty much comedy at its finest. And you're the star of the show. I love it. This is post-racial America. It's post-Obama America. Say what you want. Have fun. Lighten up a little bit. No, this is as good as it gets. The flip side is happening in Olathe at a place called Arbor Creek Elementary School. They got a problem with their principal. They're Melissa Snell. Your principal at Arbor Creek Elementary's official picture, she has blue hair. Does Marge Simpson have blue hair? Who has blue hair on The Simpsons? Marge? Okay, so they got Marge Simpson running Arbor Creek Elementary. Again, you can't make this up. Somebody make this meme. Give me some Marge Simpson outside Arbor Creek Elementary where Melissa Snell in her blue hair and her typical liberal glasses. Like I wear glasses, but you can spot some of by the glasses they wear, you can spot a mile away. You just can, trust me. At Arbor Creek Elementary, they have something called the Department of Culture and Belonging. And they're allowed to wear shirts that say, we all belong together. Okay, so she's got a little bit of, she's been smarter than most people in her position. This is a smart woman. So it didn't say, it doesn't have the pride rainbow in it or anything like that. But she is a blue-haired principal at an elementary school in the southern part of Olathe. This is a very conservative part of Olathe, right? We're talking about 159th Street out by Blue Hawk. Maybe she dyed her hair blue because she's out by Blue Hawk or something. I don't know. I think this is a pretty conservative place where she is. And they love their kids to walk around in shirts that say, we all belong together. Well, in that message, it's pretty hard to argue we all belong together. I'm on board with that. But the font they use, the design of the shirt, it doesn't have a logo of anything weird. But man, you can just tell it screams liberalism. So some staff members and some students wanted to wear some freedom T-shirts to school. The Charlie Kirk shirts that just say freedom, nothing else. She's banned them. You cannot wear a T-shirt that says freedom in her school.
That's the ones they gave out at the Oregon-Penn State game,
That's
right?
correct, yeah. And so she's claiming it's political. She has a bit of an argument. I'm not going to sit here and tear her argument apart. I understand it. But it doesn't say Charlie Kirk. It doesn't say conservative. It doesn't say anything other than freedom, which makes it exactly like we all belong. I think she's got a little bit of a problem on her hands here because the problem is maybe a lot of grade school kids wouldn't see we all belong as a pride thing or something, but they might see freedom as, oh, that's that Charlie Kirk guy wore that shirt. I see where she's coming from, but she's built this little space for herself. She's put herself in this spot, and she confirmed that, yes, she has told staff they cannot wear these and students as well. Again, Arbor Creek Elementary. If you know somebody that goes there, if you know people that live by there, if you got students there or parents in the Olathe School District, her name is Melissa Snell. She is the principal. She is Marge Simpson. Marge Simpson is the principal at Arbor Creek Elementary. Although I think Marge Simpson is conservative, isn't she? She blue-head conservative. Is her hair blue because she's old? I don't know. I don't watch The Simpsons enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's blue. Maybe just
it's a cartoon?
bright for the screen. Yeah,
Exactly. It's a cartoon.
catchy for kids.
I don't know why Fred Flintstone's car doesn't have an engine. It just doesn't. He runs it with his feet. It's one of those things, man. It's how it works. So check her out if you'd like Arbor Creek Elementary in Olathe. I just love stories like that. Just absolutely love them. Okay, did you see this co-founder of Wikipedia, which is a pretty far-left outfit, went on Tucker Carlson's podcast and says that they have blacklisted conservative media at Wikipedia, and they've done this forever. It's always been this way. It's been from the start. They actually say they give you a red check or a red X, and typical operations, Breitbart, Fox News, Daily Caller, anything you can think of that is a right-of-center media publication will never be listed as having a story or as a source for any information at Wikipedia. So the only information you'll ever get at Wikipedia is from sources like CNN, MSNBC, wherever. So when you Google somebody and you read their wiki page, it's the leftist version of everyone and everything that you ever do there. Tucker Carlson seemed a little surprised by this. Larry Sanger, I think, no longer has anything to do with wiki, but he goes, no, it's the way it's been. It's always been that way, and it's another left. People think of Wikipedia as Encyclopedia Britannica, like you're reading the facts. You're not. They're filtering out everything on the right. It's time for a lawsuit. Everybody else is settling. YouTube's paying Trump $24.5 million because they canceled his YouTube account and pages in 2021. Now they're settling. Trump's getting close to $100 million for his library. Just from media outlets, just from fake news. Wonder what Wikipedia did to Donald Trump through the years. Shouldn't be hard to prove. If you can get to a point where you're, getting all the facts and collecting all the evidence, you could probably get a nice settlement out of Wikipedia as well, which is a lame operation because if you look at it at the bottom of the page, or then they always have these pop-ups that say, we're an independent operation. We thrive on donations. Please donate to us. That just drives me crazy. I'm like, really? I don't think so. I think people are using you more than ever. We know what operations get just by getting clicks. How many hundreds of millions, if not billions of clicks are you getting a day at Wikipedia? It's the first thing that pops up. You hit a search engine and you search something. I go in and I want to know everything I can about John Anthony. And it pops up. Oh, look, here's a wiki. I don't know if he's got a wiki page or not. I've had people tell me I should write my own. I've never done that. I don't want to know. But they're nefarious. They're not on the right page. And this co-founder just came right out and said it. It's bad. So let's go, Trump. Get you a lawsuit against Wikipedia. I'm sure they harmed you somehow. There must be a way that they harmed you. All right, here we go, Mark. I got some good stuff for you today. Did you see Bobby Witt's comments about the Royals wrapping up the season to Annie Rogers of MLB.com?
I've not seen it yet.
He said, in no uncertain terms, quote, we can never be satisfied with playing 500 ball. The Royals were 82-80. I mean, we'd agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like when he says it, he means it, and it's not somebody just saying something they're supposed to say?
I think his excellence makes it seem, he's a true leader. He definitely is a true leader, but he doesn't always get vocal. So when he says something like that, I feel like it holds a lot of weight.
I just think he's a kind of a man of few words, but when he says it, he means it. He led the major leagues in hits this year with 184. There are so many strikeouts in baseball now, nobody gets 200 hits in a season anymore.
Yeah, it used to be a lot of people would get a 200 hit season.
That's got to be one of the lowest totals ever for leading the majors, isn't it?
Has to be.
It's very surprised. He also led the major leagues in doubles, and of course will win a Gold Glove because he's that good. So I appreciate that. He went on to say, look, our pitchers are back. The core of our team is back. Caglione and Jensen look like they're going to play. He said, I'm very excited, but I'm really ready to go to work now. Yeah, you're going to have to wait. Go enjoy your time and get some rest and come back after the holidays, and we'll see how that goes. So that works out. Do you think Lamar Jackson quit on his teammates Sunday, or do you think he really hurt his hamstring?
See, I wasn't sure about that on game day, but the more I look at it, the more I think he quit.
He was just getting pummeled.
Yeah. And he knew they weren't winning, so he's like, I'm going to tap out.
If he did tap out, and that's the word I like to use, they're done.
Yeah.
There's real problems, fundamental problems with that team if the quarterback is tapping out.
Yeah, leadership. As a leader, you can't do that.
Things that we can't see. Here's the reason I think he did. I came across this quote. You saw Tyreek Hill got hurt last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a weird situation. Terrible looking injury. He's on the cart laughing about it, clapping his hands and hollering yes at the fans like, yes, I never have to play for the Dolphins again. That's what people's interpretation was.
I could see that.
Like he was happy to quit. There's a guard in Seattle. Have you seen this guard for Seattle? He's apparently the worst offensive lineman in football.
Oh, yeah.
And he's all over Twitter like he doesn't even try. There's an effort problem in the NFL. There's never been an effort problem. If Lamar quit, the NFL's got a problem on its hand right now with players that are not playing hard, that are quitting. John Harbaugh said after the game, quote, there was no way he could go back into the game about Lamar, unquote. I don't remember the last time I heard a coach say that because they didn't say that about Tyreek Hill last night. We just watched it and knew there was no way he could go back in the game, right?
His knee's on sideways. Yeah.
We knew this. Xavier Worthy went out and came out and had this giant wrap all over his shoulder, and he's hobbled, and, no, he's not coming back in the game. We get it. We know what that player looks like.
Yeah.
At no point did anybody think Lamar Jackson couldn't come back in the game.
No, he jogged off the field. It didn't look like he was limping or anything.
I remember thinking, did Harbaugh take him out too early? Because I thought, well, he doesn't want to get him hurt. They're throwing in the towel on this one. Did he take him out too early? That's what I first thought.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any big hobble or anything like that. But I've never been the biggest Lamar fan. Not my thing. Paul Feinbaum is running for Senate. Well, we think he's running for Senate in Alabama. He's the SEC football guru. He's a sports radio host in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly 100% name recognition. Tommy Tuberville, an Auburn football coach, is the senator. He's stepping down to become governor. Bruce Pearl, the basketball coach at Auburn, was going to run for Senate, but has decided not to. So they went after a sports reporter to do it.
They're like, come on, man. Let's go.
If you thought Kansas Cityans love sports, I don't even want to know how intense they are in Alabama.
Oh, yeah. Especially for football.
Seems to be all they want to elect is sports people to all these different positions, which is great. The Simpsons movie, a new one, is coming out in 2027. It will be a 20-year anniversary from their first movie. There's only been one Simpsons movie? That seems impossible.
There's been a lot of seasons on TV.
Yeah. 20-year anniversary. The Simpsons 2 will be out in 2027. And the Major League Baseball playoffs start very soon, like in an hour, with the Guardians and the Tigers. You ready to have a wager, me and you? You know where I stand.
You like the Tigers?
I like the Tigers.
The Tigers are going to win today, but I think the Guardians win the series.
Iced tea?
Quick trip,
yeah. A quick trip.
Quick trip drink, yeah, let's do it.
A big Q. A big
Sounds
Q
good.
quick trip we're in. And sleep well tonight knowing that there is a comet outside of our solar system, Mark, that is much larger than we thought.
Uh-oh.
It's 33 billion tons. It's 3.5 miles wide. Astrophysicist Avi Loeb says this could be alien technology. They've never seen anything like this.
Well, hopefully the Black Keys are playing as we go.
It's outside our solar system. Apparently, it's only the third thing we've ever seen outside of our solar system because it has to be really big. So I'm not that worried about it. Have a great day. Enjoy the Vince Show. Forget about the comet.